Flag on the play. Biased and idiotic sports reporting. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down. You know nothing about sports.
Nuts prod not the beat.
You know nothing about
Hey, we're live,
We are live.
and we're
How long?
back.
How long we been away?
All of us?
Yeah,
All of
all
us?
like the three of us.
Oh, it's like about 2 weeks, right?
Something like that.
2 weeks before December. I mean, two
Yeah,
2 weeks before
Yeah.
Christmas.
yeah.
'Cause I
'Cause
know-
I know we got like two podcasts in the kitty that I just have not had time to upload.
'Cause I left.
You are straight killing me. But I know you're busy.
Dude, like man, from regular stuff to church to trying to launch not one but two businesses right now. So like all my time is like just crazy. I don't have time for myself anymore.
Man,
And in the midst of all that,
sorry, you got a cold, B-Wig.
no,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Dude.
good.
Because your voice sounds super deep.
Yeah,
Oh,
Henry Bear White.
Yeah,
I
for
don't know
real.
what I don't know what that's about.
You putting sound effects? You
I
putting
was,
sound effects there?
Nah.
Because we doing that? I can make my voice go higher.
I mean, I was in the backyard throwing football with Braden earlier, so I don't know if the cold weather has something to do with it. I don't know. But we're real quick nugget of information before we get started. So y'all know, like, with all the y'all like the deodorants and stuff, how they have like aluminum and stuff in it, and they tell you like it's
Yeah.
bad for you. Okay, so my wife, she had me switch deodorants, right? And so like, cause she's on like the natural kick,
I know.
you know, and I'm like easing into it. So I didn't know that when you switch deodorants, like your body really has to like detox from the old deodorant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
Yeah, because your body used to one thing, it has to adjust something new. Yeah.
Yeah, like earlier I smelled like I was smuggling 5 Philly cheesesteaks under each arm.
That's funny. You know why it's funny? Because when we used to work together, I switched deodorants, and I remember you going, "Why I smell like a gym in here?" And you went to Gabby, you're like, "Hey, Gabby, doesn't smell like a gym in here?" I was like, "Dude, I changed deodorants. Leave me alone."
I totally forgot about that.
Just walk into my cube like,
Well, wait a minute, B. So, hey, are we allowed to say what brand you're using?
no, because
Yeah, I mean,
we ain't got no sponsorships.
There you go. Let it go. Okay, never mind. Oh,
it's,
man.
it's rough. It's rough.
Going to Funky Town, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, buddy. I see. Okay. All the organic stuff, man, it's supposed to be healthy for you, I guess, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the other day, no, as a matter of fact, it was yesterday. My wife said you shouldn't, no, it was this morning. She said you shouldn't cook with olive oil because olive oil releases toxins. I'm like, all these years of Food Network knowledge that I've built up, just 7 years of marriage that I've built up all this Food Network knowledge. You're telling me that's
It's just like finding out that, it's not good to, drink milk.
right?
That's how we get the mucus all in our, because we're eating an animal or drinking from an animal that has.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all
Lactose.
now, if you really want to cause a ruckus in your house, I think I told y'all about this movie. And more or less for you, B-Wig. If y'all watch this movie, I know this shit ain't gonna be like, oh well, we got to look at everything we got in the kitchen, Brandon. I think I told y'all the movie's called Consumed. It's on Netflix.
There
Just
was
check it out.
another-
That's all I'm
I
gonna
think
say.
you did- I think you did tell me about. There was another one too that I watched on. It was a Netflix documentary. I can't remember the name
Now,
of
this
it
is not a
though.
documentary. This is based on a true story. It's got Danny Glover in it.
Oh
It's
God.
it's got the girl from the show on CBS, man, with Tom Hanks' son. God, what's that show called? Life in 30. So it's like they show like three different. It's real. It's funny as heck, but I can't think of the name of the show. But do you know that if you want to be an organic farmer, you have to get like a certification from the government?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some wild stuff, dude.
That's I found that out because I serve on the Parks and Rec advisory board for my town or whatever. And when we're like meeting and we're talking about the farmers market and stuff like that, that actually came up. It's like because one of the people that were there, they was like, well, my husband, he grows stuff in his backyard. Is that considered organic? Nope. You got to go through the government and get a certification.
Yep.
I was like, wow, I didn't know.
Just check it out, man. It's called. If y'all want, y'all can go to IMDb and look it up. Called Consumed. Just check it out, man. Based on a true story. With this, and the reason I say for you be weird because the lady was worried about her son. Yeah.
Well, I'm starting him out like on the right track. Like, he to be a 6-year-old, he eats relatively healthy. Like he still turns his nose up at vegetables, but
so wait a minute.
6-year-old.
So wait a minute. So you've been listening to Kramer, Cage Free Farm Fresh, huh?
Yes.
Dude, I had to explain that to my wife the other day. We were in the grocery store. She didn't know the difference. She was like, okay, so what's the difference between these extra large grade A's and Cage Free Farm Fresh? And I hit her with it. Giddy up. I was like, but it's really nothing but it's like a moral thing. Like basically, Cage Free Farm Fresh means the chickens were free to roam wherever they wanted to over the farm, and supposedly their eggs supposed to taste better because they're less stressed.
Right.
So I'm about to mess your head up. Then we can start this show. Now, you say Cage Free Farm Fresh, right? Don't you know some of that stuff eat manure? Manure is considered a pesticide and gives off,
Yeah.
So
that's why I don't eat tilapia.
Because it's not real.
Yeah.
It's a made up fish.
Yeah, I mean they feast on poop. And nothing else but poop.
But isn't that natural? It's like free roam free, right?
Yeah. No. Give me some bass. Give me some salmon. I'm good. Or how country people, salmon.
Oh God, dude, that was another conversation we had Sunday at Olive Garden. My sister-in-law, she was like, she asked my wife, she was like, Sheena, what are you getting to eat? I think I'm a good. Sheena was like, I don't know, what are you getting? She was like, I think I'm gonna get the salmon. I turned around, I said, you do know the L is silent, right? Because I try not to be so sedity and probably. I'm like some certain stuff I can't let slide. Like
how is that sedity?
I'm like,
how is that sedity?
For whatever reason, when you correct somebody with that, they like, oh, when you become so proper. I'm like, it's not proper, it's correct.
I know what you mean. I get that too.
Like I refuse to go along with this brunch or dinner with letting you disrespect this word like that. No, the L is silent. Keep it out your mouth.
All right, look, we got to start the show, but check it out. Now we're starting the show, so I'm gonna ask our viewers. Us three had an idea. I don't know if y'all asked, having the wives join us on the podcast.
Hey.
Look, everybody's silent.
It started the last one. Because of the last podcast, Brandon's wife walks in because it was right before Christmas, and then he brought up that idea, and I'm like, sounds good to me. So I asked my wife, and she's like, "You gonna try to make fun of me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not trying to make fun of you. All I want to do is just, you have good times good feelings and mostly bad feelings about this podcast because it's taking up time. So,
Right.
so all I said was, hey, why don't you just, be a part of it? And then, Sean and Brandon's wife could be a part of it too. And it's not making fun of y'all. It's just, y'all know football probably more than most people and maybe through osmosis. So
Right.
y'all can chime in.
Yeah, Tashana was like, what do you even expect me to say? Like, what am I gonna say? I don't know what to say. Like, I'm like, this dude doing? Oh my God. Really? Dude, that reminded me. I gotta order
He
my
must
I gotta
he must have
go ahead.
seen he must have seen last
No, I
what was
haven't
it?
seen it. I haven't
Oh,
seen it
okay.
yet. I'm waiting.
I just saw it on Saturday.
Look, Sean would go see it and see. Look, me and Lil, we super fans. So when Sean would go see it, I asked Sean. I said, "How was it, dude?" He was like, "It was okay." I said, "Really?" And he said, "For you, because I know you had all the action figures since you was a kid, and you watched all of them." He said, "You might be a little disappointed." I said, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Thanks, dude. Okay, I might want to just wait for this one."
I was never one to get on that Star Wars kick. Like I could never do it. Like space stuff, space movies, like Apollo 13 is probably the only space I'll get. Star Wars and all that. Nah, I mean I just can't. I don't know.
Look, the reason I got into it, man, because when I was young, that was one of the things. The dudes in my hood, man, they weren't watching no Star Wars, and I knew if I went outside, man, y'all seen Star Wars? Sure. Y'all look at me like I'm crazy. So I had to do it in secret. So that's when I really got into it. I was like, oh man, I gotta get these action figures. And trust me, when my boys came over, I hid them joints on the back porch in the old beer
Oh
barn,
my God.
top cover.
He's hiding Star Wars like he had porn. Some people hide Star Wars, some people
Some
hide
people
porn.
have porn.
I was mad at myself, man, because once I got like in high school, I left all that stuff alone, man. But I had the 6-inch action figures, man. I should have held on to them joints. They could have been worth some money right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look now you tell me, yeah. So it's going now. Yeah. All right, man, come on.
Speaking of questionable decision making,
We're back to the show.
Yeah.
You know nothing about sports.
Neither do we.
Nothing.
All right. So you guys brought up this coaching carousel, whatever you want to call it. So if y'all looked at my email I sent out earlier about the agenda, yeah. The first one I put up, man, was Rivera to the Skins. Del Rio is the defensive coordinator. Then come to find out, the Skins don't have a GM, but they did hire an offensive coordinator who worked under Ron Rivera. So
North Skid.
to me that was one of the ones that surprised me. I'm like, okay, he's basically built his own staff, which I didn't think Dan Snyder would let him do, but that's the one that I highlighted on. What you got? What you got, K-Man?
I actually like that hire. I really do like that hire. This is a 2-time coach of the year. Y'all know how I feel about the Grudens, Jay and John. I know how I feel about them. But it's a stabilizing force. Also like the fact, normally I don't, that the coach got hired and the GM will get hired next. So the coach essentially runs the show. I like that. Because, and now I don't think they're going to win any Super Bowls with Ron Rivera. But what they're going to probably get is stability. They're going to be a solid team, 7-9, 8-8, 9-7, consistently. And they might bubble up a couple years, but their floor is going to be around that instead of bottoming out like they did this year with 3 wins or something like that.
Yeah.
Del Rio, as a defensive coordinator, I just remember my time, Del Rio's time with Denver. Particularly didn't like it because he wasn't aggressive enough, especially in the playoffs. Turner, I don't know about that one. I honestly, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Only for the simple fact it's not Norv, and like Norv ain't coming back to DC after the way Dan Snyder treated him. That was 20 years ago, and that thing still stings. He ain't coming back there. I don't know about him. I know the offensive coordinator they did have wanted to go because he wanted to go anywhere with that loser O'Connell, that loser Josh McDaniels was going to go. So that's how I feel about the Skins, Brandon.
All right. So, and the reason I went to K-Man first, B, because I know you right there in North Carolina.
Yeah.
What's the fans' reaction to losing Rivera, man? Do they feel like Do they feel like they lost a family member?
Not anymore. If there was like an excitement gauge for fans to, to gauge their excitement over this Matt Rule hire, I mean, it's like people going bonkers down here for that. But
I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna get to that, but go ahead.
Yeah, but back to the Skins. Rivera's, always been a solid coach. My only thing is this, and I do like the Del Rio hire. I like the Del Rio hire. Not sure about Scott Turner, but the thing is this: with Rivera, he's never, and I brought this up to Kennedy before. He's never been one to advocate for weapons for his quarterback.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, I think. Yeah.
It took them how long to draft a legitimate weapon for Cam Newton when he was with the Panthers? I mean, it took years to get Cam Newton a legitimate weapon on the outside. So I don't.
And by the time he did that, Cam Newton was shot.
Right. And I know the Skins have Terry McLaurin, but outside of that, you really don't know who you have. You really don't know. And I'm not saying Rivera can't develop Dwayne Haskins, but he wouldn't be my first choice to come develop a quarterback, a raw quarterback like Dwayne. Now Dwayne, he was starting to come into his own towards the end of the season before he got hurt. And so I don't know if Rivera stifles that or something. I don't know. I like the hire. Like Kennedy said, they'll be better. They'll be a better team. They'll be right around that 8-8, 9-7 mark. They may sneak a 10-6 in there one year. I don't know, but I do like the hire.
All right. So let's stand with you, B. Wig. You brought up the Rule guy, and I know y'all were talking about it earlier, texting. I can tell y'all don't agree with the. Well, let me ask you. From what I was seeing in the text, you guys don't agree with the deal he got. $60 million, 70 with the incentives.
Not. Absolutely not.
Why not?
What are you?
Why you don't agree with that?
You just gave a rookie coach, $60 million over 7 years, who had a losing record over his career at Baylor. He never won anything.
He won last past season.
We won what?
They went to a bowl game. They were like 11-2 or something like that.
A bowl game.
Anybody who wins 7 games goes to a bowl game.
Right. No. It's 6 games.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's 6.
It's 6 games. Oh God. I mean, I was like.
So you brought up something earlier. So what are the people saying down there?
Well, I mean, just like anybody that gets a new shiny toy. Your team was down in the dumps last year, and you get this new shiny, glossy toy, that nobody knows about, but you just your expectations, your optimism is just through the roof. Everybody's like, "Oh man, we get Cam back, we could possibly be back in the playoffs next year," and I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not."
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you got. He has Christian McCaffrey. Woohoo! Christian McCaffrey. He was the first dude since Marshall Faulk to get 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing in the same season.
Yeah.
On a 5-win team.
Yep.
Okay.
Matt Rule is not going to change that.
All right, B. So gonna ask you this one last question. Then we're gonna go to the K man. I'm gonna ask the K man the same thing. So B, based on if you were the GM, what kind of deal would you have given on Rule?
I probably would have topped out at 4.
4 years what?
4 years, probably 30.
Oh.
4 years, 30 million. That's where I'm. That's my best offer.
All right.
For a dude from college with a 19 and 20 career record.
All right, K man, what you think about the Rule hiring and also the money? What you think, K man?
All right. So when we finish this whole thing, we're gonna talk about the lack of black coaches. That got not even black coaches, just minority coaches that got hired. We're gonna talk about with NFL legit NFL experience. This dude was with the Giants for 1 year, and they constituted that as NFL experience. Okay, he before he went to Baylor, he coached at that big fighting school that everyone knows, Temple. No. And then Brandon said at Baylor, he sucked. And then let's be for real, Baylor 1 year in that RG3 year was hot, but Baylor is the number 4 school in Texas.
Yeah,
behind Texas, A&M, Texas Tech.
And look, might be SMU.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're neck and neck with Houston.
Yeah. So because he blew you away, you give this dude a job. Well, first of all, I don't understand what he did to get a job. Now, he seems to me to be this year's Cliff Kingsbury. They're going. If you look at all the coaches that hired last year, was anybody who knew Sean McVay, shook his hand, stuck in the elevator with him, got a job. This year, they learning that that doesn't work. And so they're trying to go out of the box, and some people are going downright stupid. I'm looking at you, the Giants. But I don't want to be that guy that says things are going to fail. This is going to fail.
All right, K man.
Because they don't have a GM. Their GM, they're trying to push out. They don't have a talent evaluator. So how is this guy going to get the squad that he wants to get? Second of all, the deal that he's got, I would have given him 3-year deal, option with a 4, $3 million a year.
What? Man, y'all trying to.
He ain't gonna leave Baylor to make less in the NFL than he was making at Baylor.
Hey, look, but I would tell him this: you're at Baylor.
Well,
you could be at only one of 32 jobs, or you could be the 4th biggest, not even the 4th. There's some high schools in Texas that are more renowned than Baylor.
If he was going to get that amount of money, he probably would have just went and been an OC somewhere.
Is his play calling that magical? That's why I don't understand it.
We're gonna find out.
I'm shocked no one. I mean, I know his buyout is huge, but I'm shocked no one, talked to Lincoln Riley. I'm super shocked by that.
But word was Lincoln really didn't want to leave Oklahoma.
No, because he's the king of Oklahoma.
Yeah, he wasn't really. He really wasn't ready to leave.
And I don't think Oklahoma would have let him leave, not right away.
No.
Yeah.
No. And then somebody brought up the point. If he's making that much money, how much was he making at Baylor?
Okay. Right. All right, K man. Check this one out. So I'm starting with you on this one, K man. Because I know B we're gonna have the last say on this one. Number 3 on my list was McCarthy to the Cowboys, and they're hiring Mike Nolan as defensive coordinator. What you think about that, K man?
Meh. Not exciting whatsoever.
Yeah. Why not?
And then I heard. Okay, so Mike McCarthy, he's okay. He's a West Coast guy, but there's nothing innovative about his offense. He's a strict West Coast guy.
Now, K man, I can't remember. I think it was you said that that's going to impede Dak's progress, or was that one of you guys said that?
Me. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great for Zeke because you can make Zeke the way, if you go by the traditional historical way of the West Coast offense, you can make Zeke Roger Craig.
I was going to say Roger Craig in San Francisco.
Or Ricky Waters.
Yeah.
He can do that and he'll be great at it. I don't know that Dak wants to be throwing 10-yard ends all the damn time. And then also, for the West Coast offense to work, you need a tight end. They don't have one. And this draft is not that deep in tight end. So I don't.
We do.
No,
yeah, we do. Well, go ahead.
Old man Witten.
No, not him. Not him. But go ahead.
And the second of all, Mike Nolan? No. Who just got fired from the LA Rams? Who loves Texas?
Would never work.
Why wouldn't it work? He came back to Denver as an assistant.
Nobody on that defensive roster is fit for a 3-4 defense. Nobody.
Yes.
And we don't have time. We're the Cowboys. We don't rebuild. We're not waiting to rebuild a 3-4 defense. No.
And then I heard y'all brought Joe Philbin in as your offensive coordinator. This is another. Yeah, y'all brought Joe Philbin as your offensive coordinator.
They said that they would keep Kellen Moore.
That's what I thought too, K-Man.
They bringing Joe Philbin as something. You don't want Joe Philbin in. He's bland. You want him as your quarterback coach?
I don't want him as my quarterback coach. I was thinking that maybe that's what they were bringing him in as.
He is so bland.
I don't know.
They are young. He could have picked somebody from McVay's staff who runs a similar system. No. McVay and Kyle Shanahan and even they run the Shanahan version of the West Coast offense. But you could have brought somebody in. Hell, honestly, if O'Connell doesn't get a job, I'll bring O'Connell in.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
He's a better coach I'll say this. He's a better coach than Jason Garrett. He will get them consistently. I think he'll get enough out of them. I don't know if he'll get the most out of them. I just don't see promised land with this dude. That's just me.
All right, B. What you think, B?
You hit the nail on the head just now, about 17 seconds ago. You said he's a better coach than Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett won a playoff game last year. A better coach gets us to the NFC Championship and possibly beyond. With the talent that we have, a better coach than Jason Garrett. It's what we've been saying the last few years. Jason Garrett can only take them so far.
Right.
Now they got somebody better that could take them that much further. Now, there are question marks. One being Mike Nolan. I like the hire. I like Mike Nolan. He runs an edgy 4-3 that believes in bringing pressure. And that's what we didn't do enough of last year was bring pressure. We relied on our front four because Rob Marinelli is stubborn. But Mike Nolan loves the blitz. I love that. We have the personnel to do it. I love it.
I was going to say that's a good one for y'all in that division, man, because they got young quarterbacks and hurt quarterbacks. But yeah, right. Go ahead, B.
Now, as far as Dak goes, I think this is a match made in heaven. I think that you give Dak simpler and easier throws in a West Coast offense, and you give him the keys to run that offense on the field. Now, what he was able to do this past year while still kind of having the reins, Jason Garrett was still kind of holding the reins. Even though Kellen Moore was calling the plays, Jason Garrett still kind of had the reins of the offense. Mm-hmm. Mike McCarthy is going to give Dak the keys. He's here, take the keys to the Cadillac and drive it. And I think that that's going to be most beneficial in helping the growth and helping Dak's growth. Now you got people to say, yeah, Mike McCarthy, he, won a Super Bowl with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Okay, that's fair. I wish y'all could see Kennedy's facial expression right now. But we'll save his thoughts on Aaron Rodgers another day.
We're gonna talk about that. It's gonna come up in that NFL 100. I'll tell you right
But all in all, I think there's the unknown, but I don't think that I don't think that we're gonna fail with this one. I like this hire. I love the special teams coordinator hire, John
All right.
Fossil from LA, from the Rams. They bringing him in. We had dead last special teams across the board last year,
Okay.
and I think he's doing a good job putting together a squad.
Let's stay with the theme of the Cowboys here. In the rumor mill world, it's rumored, that, of course, the Giants hired the guy Judge. Now, the rumor is that Garrett might be the offensive coordinator. What you think, B?
I mean,
Is well,
if
first of
you
all,
if
hold
huh?
on. So, B, do you think is that if Garrett is the offensive coordinator for Giants, is that an edge for you guys, for the Cowboys or any other team?
Any team that Jason Garrett goes up against has the edge over Jason Garrett. All I'll say is this: if that does happen, I fear for the longevity of Saquon Barkley's career because Jason Garrett is going to run him into the ground. He's going to run him into the ground, and Saquon, as big as those quads are, Saquad, as big as those legs are, he ain't built to take 25 to 30 carries per game.
Really, you don't think
Oh,
so?
No,
also,
he's not.
no, you're talking about carries. Add another 10 touches in the passing game.
Well,
Right.
true.
I mean, he's going to get work to his tongue's hanging out if
Yeah,
Garrett's the OC.
that I do agree, man. But I think if they put a good plan in for him and monitor his touches and his carries, like I say, limit him to maybe 21 carries a game. Maybe 8 to 10 catches out of backfield a game, maybe 30 touches a game. He,
Yeah. And
but
then you need someone innovative to come in and teach Daniel Jones, guide him and continue to develop him. Now, I'm kind of on the fence still about him.
I'm not.
He had some great games, but he had some games where he looked like he should have got taken in like the fifth or sixth round. Um, Garrett is not the guy that you want to bring in to develop a raw quarterback. Well, maybe not raw, but an inexperienced quarterback, second year quarterback. He's not the guy. That's where I would now. That's where I would see a Josh McDaniels. I would trust Josh McDaniels more with the young quarterback than I would Jason Garrett.
hmm, all right, B. So what you think, K man?
All right, so we on the Giants, or we still back on?
Giants, yeah, Judge
All
and
right,
Garrett.
okay. So I don't believe that Jason Garrett's going to take a job within the division as a coach, as a offensive coordinator. I think he's going to sit out a year and try to do like McCarthy did. Look at tape, try to reinvent himself, try to see what the latest trends is. I know you're shaking your head. I know it's not going to work. I'm just saying that's what he's
No,
going to say.
it's not that it's
When
not
he
going to
goes,
work. He's not going to do it. He's
You
stubborn.
don't
He's not going
you
to do
don't
it.
think he would take that job out of spite to spite Jerry Jones?
Jason
what
Garrett
is it?
he's too bright to take on a demotion 1 year after
No.
being a head coach for 9
And
years.
then let's get into the individual who got this job. He got this job because Matt Rule said, "Nah,
No.
I'm taking the 60 million." Matt Rule was supposed to fly to New York
New York.
after Cabo, but Dave Tapper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, said, "You know what? I'm flying to you," which never gets done. He flew to him and then gave him a Godfather deal, an offer that he could not refuse, and
There
he
you
did.
go.
And then they got stuck like Chuck because all of a sudden they hear, "Hey, Matt Rule's going to the Panthers," and they're like, hey, Judge,
We gotta use some more cliches on this show. There you go, K man. Skip them cliches in there.
No. Hold on. Let me stick this in here. Because I really didn't touch on Judge like that. When you talking about Garrett, I really didn't touch on Judge. You ran it down perfectly how it happened. Tapper flew the rule. That was a done deal. Now the Giants are scrambling. Bill Belichick called the Giants and said, consider Judge. He's a great guy. And I said, why in the world would Bill Belichick be calling the Giants trying to offer one of his assistants? Yeah, the Giants are the team that ended his perfect season one year and beat him in another Super Bowl. Why not try to screw them over? Here.
Now, okay, I will say this. He did win his first 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, all right? So he does have an affection for the franchise.
But he was this close to a perfect season, and they screwed it up.
This hire says a lot about the Maras. And I will say this. I remember hearing a story that the Giants were really good in the 60s. I think it was the 50s or the 60s.
Like
when they had the offensive coordinator was Vince Lombardi and the defensive coordinator was Tom Landry. They were really good, but then they both one went to Dallas, the other went to Green Bay. One became the greatest coach of all time. The other one became one of the top coaches of all time. And then they went for a 20-year period of stunk so bad that Pete Rozelle came to the Giants, the owner, Wellington Mariners, like, look, here's George Young. Let him run your franchise. I think the Maras, who get all this credit in the world, I think at their core, they're a bunch of morons. Because look at what happened to them the last 4 years. And their coaching, from the goofball that used to be the Packers, I can't even remember his name, to Shermer. Now this dude who's going to be 2 years. And then keeping Gettleman. This is the worst. This is the worst. Now Cleveland hasn't made their choice, but this is the worst hire of all the coaches.
They up next. We're talking about them next. But to your point about Wellington Mara, you know whose 2 franchises are tied by marriage, right?
Yeah, them and the Steelers.
Steelers and the Giants.
Because they got 2 daughters who are actresses.
Well, somebody's son married somebody's daughter.
Yeah, and they produce 2 grandkids because one Romy Mero and the other one is I don't know, whatever. Yeah. But we've seen them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Social Network and Fantastic Four. Yeah. But the Giants, you're now the laughingstock of that division.
Yeah, I get it. So the Browns, y'all see who I listed that the Browns are interviewing?
Yes.
I haven't heard any rumors because I don't think they made a decision yet. So based on what I put in the email, which coach makes better sense for the Browns, K-Man?
From everything I've heard, it essentially goes like this. Does Jimmy Haslam really want to keep John DePodesta as the guy running the whole show? If he does, then it's going to be Stefanski. But if he doesn't, it's going to be Josh McDaniels bringing in somebody from New England. That's essentially the case. And if it's to me, I would pick Stefanski because I would have DePodesta running the whole thing and the general manager being this guy from Andrew Berry from the Philadelphia Eagles, dude from Harvard, have him running the show. Because he used to work for Cleveland, but the problem was he couldn't work with John Dorsey, so he left.
Yeah, because I was reading an article before I came home. I was on my conference call. I heard somebody mention Eric Bieniemy, and I heard Stefanski. That's what I heard. So what you think, B?
I'm gonna give you 2 names that aren't even on this list that will get them back into the playoffs next season. Jim Caldwell, Tony Dungy.
I did hear about Tony Dungy. Okay.
2 guys that aren't even really getting a sniff from any team as possible. Retired. Yeah, but I mean, Who says he can't come out?
Yeah,
And
Caldwell, I can see. Caldwell, I can see.
That plays back into the topic you brought up earlier, K-Man, right?
Yeah,
That team, they need a legitimate, strong leader.
yeah.
Like no BS, no ifs, ands, or buts. Just a real strong leader. Not saying that none of the guys on this list can't be that. Well, Jim
Robert
Schwartz,
Saleh?
Jim Schwartz is a failure. He's a
No,
failure, and
no.
he should not get any other head coaching job ever.
No. You are absolutely right.
But Robert
Saleh.
Sala Stefanowski, between those two, Stefanowski or Stefanski, Stefanski, he would probably be my first pick.
Yeah,
He'd
I
be
think
my first.
I think I would pick, honestly. All right, so you said a strong leader. You're absolutely right. Tony Dungy is that guy. Jim Caldwell's not that guy.
But he's
Jim Caldwell,
respected though.
he's respected, but he's not a strong leader. Now, Jim Caldwell coaching Baker Mayfield, you would see Baker Mayfield take off. Remember how Matt Stafford was under
Right.
Caldwell? Like he got
Good point, K-Man.
that teaching that he gave him and that leadership that he gave. I think 'cause the problem, I think his leadership is good for just the offense. I don't think he can do the whole team. And then for the coach, you got to do the whole team. And that's why a lot of people like him as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the offensive coordinator when the Ravens won the Super Bowl in 2012. And you see what he did with Flacco with that 1 year. I mean, he can, but to me, Stefanski works if you bring him as the head coach and he brings over Gary Kubiak as the offense coordinator. Gary Kubiak working with Baker, woof.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they built to run the West Coast style. They got the running game, they got the tight end. They just need to fix that offensive line.
Right.
And Stefanski would probably just bring somebody from Minnesota to run the defense or someone around. Josh McDaniels, in my estimation, was going to be a complete total failure. You've seen what he's done when he's not. Everybody always brings up the Denver situation, which he did. He sucked, but he also was an offensive coordinator for the St. Louis Rams, and they stunk.
Mm-hmm.
He only works in that under Bill Belichick's orbit, like most people do. So no, I would go with Stefanski. But it's essentially the Brown situation is, from what I'm hearing, it's who reports to who. That was always a problem in Cleveland. Who reports to who? And I think they need to get that settled in before they make the head coach.
Yep.
All right. So I know you had mentioned about African American coaches came in. The last team that I thought about was the Dolphins. They got Brian Flores. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep him, but they brought Chan Gailey back as the offensive coordinator. Do you think they could have found a qualified African American to be an offensive coordinator for that team, K-Man?
Yes.
Yeah, we were just talking about one.
Yeah, but my issue with the perfect guy to be a head coach in the NFL right now is Eric Bieniemy, because he follows the same path that Doug Peterson did and with Nagy did. And let's be for real, Nagy's overrated as hell.
Yeah.
He is vastly overrated. And everybody's whole thing is, oh, he doesn't call the plays. Nagy, no. I was listening to the Yahoo podcast, and one of the guys is on it. He lives in Kansas City. He said Nagy and Peterson technically called plays, but it was Andy Reid who did the install for the week. It was Andy Reid who picked the plays. We're going to use this play. We're going to use this play. So if that's the case for Peterson and Nagy, why isn't Bieniemy getting the job? The man was an offensive coordinator for the MVP who came into the league and lit it up. He took a slight step back, slightly with injuries and slightly people catching up, but he still lit it up. Yet he got no legit interviews. It's crap.
I agree with you. What you think, B?
I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna go on the defensive side of the ball, and I want to know why this guy hasn't gotten any calls to be a head coach. Leslie Frazier. The job that this dude has done with, or that he did with that Buffalo defense this year, that defense is incredible.
Incredible.
Yet he got no calls, no interviews.
The defense kept him in most of the games this season.
Yeah, and they were. I think who was it? Was it Stephen A. or somebody earlier that were talking about how the Rooney Rule is just it's a joke. It gives teams it's basically like a cop out. Like these teams aren't interviewing these minority candidates to give them jobs. They're interviewing these minority candidates for head coaching jobs to fulfill the Rooney Rule, to be Rooney compliant. It's like they had somebody asked Marvin Lewis, "Did you have a problem with how this thing went down with Dallas? How they brought you in when they kind of seemed like they knew all along that they were going to hire Mike McCarthy?" And he said he didn't have a problem with it. I have a problem with that. Be honest. Be honest, dude. Yeah, I mean,
it's like you saying they're accepting it because it's the norm, and it shouldn't be.
Someone broke it down. The rule itself was supposed to get minority candidates in the room to interview and then give them a legit shot. Doesn't mean you have to hire them, but give them a legit shot. And then if they did well, then the word would pass around. So the next time there's an opening, they would get a really good shot. The problem is the last 4 years, that's not happening. You're just bringing them in to fulfill the compliance of the rule. Mm-hmm. And then you're doing some underhanded stuff. Because I remember a lot of teams do this, where you'll hire somebody like the Redskins did in 2009 to comply with the rule to bring in Shanahan and Bruce Allen. They talked to one of their guys in the scouting department. Say, "Hey, come in. We want to interview for you for the job." "All right, cool. All right, we're compliant." Hey, coach, we're gonna interview for the job." "Oh, okay, we're compliant." And then, so it's not the rule itself isn't the problem. It's the individuals making the decision.
Right.
And they want, as someone said, they want people they're comfortable with.
But the thing is, they following the rules, K-Man. That's the rule, right?
They are following the rule. They're being compliant. Yeah. The problem is they're not being honest with themselves. Exactly. And so to me, I think just take the rule out. Just take it out.
So I get what y'all saying. Y'all, you can say they're following the rules, but not for an individual to be honest with themselves. I get it.
It's doing more harm than good, and it's making it seem like they're giving these minority candidates interviews as a charity case.
Yeah.
And I think that was the intent of the rule.
Yeah, the intent of Brandon brought up a name. I brought up a name. Look at the defensive numbers of Leslie Frazier's defense in Buffalo. Look at the offensive numbers of Eric Bieniemy's offense. Those are major qualifications for a job. What did Matt Rule do to deserve a job? What did Judge do to deserve a job? Rivera and McCarthy, they're off the list. They're retreads, and with their retreads, they got to a Super Bowl, and one got to a Super Bowl. The other one won a Super Bowl.
But
the other two?
But those are the rules. You have to comply by the rules.
Yeah,
we have policies in place.
Get the rule. Just get rid of the rule. And just say, I want to hire this guy because I'm comfortable with this guy. Because it's your team. You're the one that's paying the money. I'm not paying the money.
But that might come off a little racist.
But it'll be honest, though. It'll be honest.
But the rule protects all that, K-Man.
And it doesn't need protection anymore. We're all big boys now. All right. Most of the owners in this league are billionaires. They don't need protection. They have 24 hours security already. All right.
But K-Man, if it comes out that the owner is racist, that may hurt ticket sales and they
That's
lose
not.
money.
It's being comfortable with any individual is not racism.
Right.
It's slightly prejudiced, but it's not racism.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right. We're going to go through the wild card review real quick.
All right.
Texans beat the Bills, which I wasn't surprised, but then I was like, because that game could have went either way. That game could have went either way, man. So I'm gonna start with you, K-Man, first. Do you think that game could have went either way, or was one team more dominant than the other?
No, it could have went any other way. And I'm going to make this quick because we ran long on a lot of these coaching hires, but I will say this. Yeah. I take away a couple points from this game. Point number one. Ryan Pace, the general manager of the Chicago Bears, should jump off a roof. You passed on this dude.
Yeah.
Right. This dude. Look, I know that Dabo sometimes talks. And he sometimes talks and sometimes annoying. But when he said passing on him is like passing on Michael Jordan, yeah, it's starting to look like that.
But K-Man, he wasn't comfortable with Deshaun Watson.
No, that city wasn't. Hey, Chicago got a lot of issues with race, and I think that city wasn't comfortable. That's just me. Second point, which I'm really shocked I'm about to say this. I was impressed somewhat with Josh Allen. No, come on now. Josh Allen. That dude was trying to win. He was doing some goofy stuff, but he was trying to win. He was everything he mentally capable of doing. He tried.
I don't know why he swung that ball out of bounds like that. I don't know what he.
I said mentally capable. And Bill O'Brien sucks. Those are my points.
All right, B, what you got, B?
One thing, I was really shocked at the level of incompetence I witnessed from Sean McDermott. You got 4th and 26 from near midfield. Of course, you're not going to kick a field goal. You got 3 timeouts. Why not punt the ball and try to pin the Texans back?
It's the playoffs. Now, you got to go for it.
They ended up getting the ball back. So, I mean, that makes this kind of moot. But it was still a bonehead decision that could have been, well, they lost the game. So, I mean, it couldn't have been any more consequential. But it was just a bad decision in the moment. It was bad field management. It was just bad. Number 2. Did anybody see that crazed, glazed over look in Josh Allen's eyes?
He looked like he looked like he wasn't there at one point.
You know, when you remember being in school and you seen a kid fight that you didn't know could fight, never seen the kid in a fight, and one day the kid just snapped, adrenaline flowing, he don't even know where he's at. He's just fighting. He's just swinging. Like, he's swinging at anything. Anything that moves, he's swinging at it. That was Josh Allen on Saturday night.
Did y'all see him on the sideline, that little stare, and look, he was just like...
My man ran down the field, getting tackled, was in field goal range and tried to lateral the ball.
Exactly. I couldn't believe that. I've never seen that before.
I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and call him a good quarterback, bad quarterback. That's beyond the point. That kid has fight.
That play is going. That's going to live forever because it's on film. So
right.
All right. So B, the next game, man.
Oh no, I got one thing about. You said Sean McDermott. I just want to. I looked up. You said he made some boneheaded, stupid decisions, right?
Yeah.
He started his career in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles in 1999 up until 2010. Where do you think he learned that from? and he spent 5 years in Carolina with Ron Rivera. Where do you think he got that from? I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Boneheaded moves in the playoffs. Who the king of it? Who's the king of it?
That's a good coincidence. That's a good coincidence, K-Man.
If Andy Reid and Ron Rivera could have a baby, that's
yeah, boy. All right, B. The Titans and the Pats, man. Is it the end of the Pats dynasty, B?
Saturday wasn't the end of the Pats dynasty. We witnessed the end of that dynasty during the season. I mean, come on now. Are we really gonna sit here and all credit to Mike Vrabel, and all credit to the Titans for going up to Foxborough, even though they're going up against a washed up quarterback, still not an easy thing to do. But are we really gonna sit here and act like Tom Brady hasn't been showing us signs since the beginning of the season? For some people, since last season.
Have you seen? Did you watch that Super Bowl?
Are we really gonna sit here and act like that? This thing has been over. Saturday night was just a nail in the coffin, and Derrick Henry was the hammer that hammered the nail to the coffin. Mm-hmm. He ran through them like an animal. It wasn't even funny. Like Bill Belichick, dude, you're known for defense. This defense has been touted, has been put up on banners all season long. And you let Derrick Henry come into your house and do that. Over 200 scrimmage yards. I loved every second of it. But the thing I love most about this game is how Bill Belichick got so bothered because Mike Vrabel was using his tactics against him. That was the greatest thing ever. They ran off a minute and 40-some seconds off the clock. Mm-hmm. Just off of nonsense. Yeah. But they legally could. And it drove Bill Belichick nuts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It drove him nuts.
All right, K-Man, what you got?
All right, so first of all, I told people last year that if they don't win a Super Bowl last year, that's the last time, because they're never going to win a Super Bowl again. That's just how it is going to be. Brady stunk in the playoffs. The only reason people look at the AFC Championship game and they're like, oh, he did well. Remember, he was playing one of the worst defenses of all time. And in the Super Bowl, he only made one play. Now it was that play.
Yeah. People forget in the AFC Championship game, had it not been for a flag, that was an interception, and they were going home.
Yeah,
he had thrown an interception.
Yeah,
but people don't remember that.
No. And then as far as that defense, you look at the first 8 games. Look at the first 8 opponents they played. That's why that defense looks so good. They finished number 1 because of all the stuff they did in the first season. But by the time they got to Baltimore and got smacked, that defense was what it is. Is what it was. But it carried them. The first 8 games carried them to the number 1 rankings. And historically, no, you're not historical if someone can come into your house and say, we're gonna run at you this many times, and I dare you to stop it.
With
it's
8,
like
9
they,
in the box.
They weren't.
Give him credit, K-Man. Derrick Henry's a big dude, but
if you know what someone's going to do, and you still don't stop them, you suck. You suck.
Pretty much.
I'm running off. I'm running off tackle. I'm running the trap. No matter what I'm doing, I'm running. I'm not doing a toss. I'm running between the tackles. Stop it. Oh, you can't? I'm going to keep doing
it. I think more teams should do that, man. Yeah. Run a play until they stop it.
Yeah.
Right. So what if it's predictable?
Exactly.
If they can't stop it, then
keep doing it.
You keep doing it's a manhood thing, because sometimes in football it's a manhood thing, and then that offensive line and Derrick Henry took that man. They took the collective manhood of Gillette Stadium. All right,
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. They went in there, and then I give Brandon all the credit in the world. When that game came out and the matchup came out, Brandon predicted it. I didn't. I thought the Patriots would equal a game out, but nope. You had that one. I give it to you.
All right,
Too vulnerable.
all right, Kate, man. So the Vikings and the Saints, man. You think Drew Brees coming back? I had to put you on the spot, Key, man.
Yes. Drew Brees is now coming back, not for a Super Bowl, because I think that window's closed. I think Drew Brees has come back to preserve his records, because that's the only reason Tom Brady wants to play. Tom Brady only wants to play to preserve records, because in his mind, he knows he's not the greatest quarterback of all time. 6 rings does not make you the greatest quarterback. Quarterbacking, it's a lot of little things. And football is the ultimate team game. He has been lucky enough to be on a really good organization with probably one of the greatest coaches of all time. And he's a really good quarterback. The greatest? No. So Drew Brees wants to continue to play to keep that number of touchdowns, because as Brady's declining, so is Drew Brees. Drew Brees is not declining at the rate of Tom Brady, so he can still keep those numbers up. So, no, he's going to keep playing. As far as this game, I tell you all the time, the Saints, when they play at home, they get too cocky.
You got complacent.
Because ever since when they opened up their dome after Katrina, that place has been magical for them. But it's also been a crutch. And they get too complacent, and they don't. Where was the Saints? Where was the Saints that went to Seattle and beat the Seahawks? Where was that Saints team that went into Chicago and beat Chicago? Where was that Saints team that played that stretch without Drew Brees?
Remember we went into Dallas and beat Dallas 12-10.
Because to me, I thought I had the Saints winning the Super Bowl, because I thought if they could get past this game, they're going to be on a roll the next couple games, and they thrive off that, and it would propel them to. But they got too lackadaisical. And also give all credits to the Vikings. They played a good. Mike Zimmer had them boys ready. Stefanski had that offense.
Like the defense was playing.
Yeah. Also, remember, in the start of the year, you asked who was the most intriguing team. I said the Vikings, because of if they could put everything together, because I knew they had it in that defense, and the offense just had to be above competent, and they were.
And Dalvin Cook stayed healthy. All right, B. So, what's your take on this Vikings Saints game, B?
I don't have like a whole lot, because, like I said earlier, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I would like to point out, however, another questionable end.
The Saints game, right?
To a Saints game.
3 years in a row.
You know, Rudolph, he didn't push off with both arms, but he clearly pushed off with one arm. And for the NFL to come back and say, we have no problem with this, confirms what I had been suspicious of all along. The NFL has something against the Saints.
Yeah.
They got something against y'all, man.
I know what it is.
What is it, Kenny?
2009 playoffs. Brett Favre. They won it. The Super Bowl they wanted was Minnesota versus Indianapolis. Brett Favre versus Peyton Manning, and they didn't get it. And that thing would have set records.
Yeah.
Because we beat the heck out of Brett Favre that game.
And then the Bounty Gate subsequently afterwards. That was their way of punishing it. So I'm telling you right now, nah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, well, one last thing about that is we saw something that we haven't seen a whole lot in the last few years, and that's a quarterback going into the Superdome and outplaying Drew Brees. Drew Brees got outplayed on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk wasn't special the whole game, but he was special when he needed to be.
And I'll tell you, man.
And that's been a knock on him since Washington.
And look,
nationally.
Mhm.
I hate to say this, man. I watched the game, and the Saints were more productive when they had Taysom Hill at quarterback. When he ran for a couple of first downs and he broke a nice long 20-some yard run, he threw a pass, caught a pass for a touchdown. Was on special teams. I said the same. I'm like, wow. I said when he's in the game, the fans actually started cheering even louder. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
wow.
And before we move to the last game, Sean, I just want to apologize for Kennedy triggering you yesterday.
I knew that'd get y'all going.
I said, this dude has snapped. Like, Kennedy, you jerk. What did you do that for?
Hey, I remember 6 years ago getting text messages after Super Bowl 48. All right, so no.
Oh,
I,
man.
I have one more thing to say.
what's that?
Y'all should have re-signed Mark Ingram.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
when we let him go, dude, I was like, what? I'm like, and then we got Murray. I'm like, he's good, but he's no Mark Ingram.
He runs too high. He's never been reliable.
And once he gets hit, he goes down.
Yeah.
Look, we should have kept Big Trust. Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
I understand that mess. I beat Kate. I'm gonna start with K-Man. K-Man, Seahawks and the Eagles, man.
This is the game. I mean, this is the easiest game to predict. As I said in the text message, the Eagles are a match unit. All right, and Seattle has that Saints thing. I didn't know that they were 7-1 on the road this year, which means they were 4-4 at home.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they're gonna go into Philly and beat them. So it is what it is with that one.
I B, what you got?
I feel like it would have played out differently had Carson Wentz not went down, as he so frequently does.
Again, right in the playoff game, right?
He got hit in the back of the head.
Soft as Charmin. But
He got hit in the back of the head. But you know what? I'm gonna let this go because had this been Patrick Mahomes, I'd be saying the same thing. So I understand how division rivals work. I understand it. I'm gonna let it go.
Thank you for understanding that. Thank you for understanding that. As a Dallas Cowboys fan, it warmed my heart the more to see the game play out the way it did, and it to put the cherry on top. Seeing Josh McCown, seeing a 40-year-old man cry on the shoulder of another man, that was special. See him boo-hooing on that field on Zach Ertz's shoulder. That was special.
Yeah, that was.
All right, but bias aside, the Seahawks need to be worried as they go into this weekend's game.
Yeah, buddy.
They need to be worried because I'm glad that DK Metcalf had the breakout playoff game that he did, but that ain't happening this weekend. That's not gonna happen this weekend. That Green Bay defense, they're gonna put the clamps down on that young man. And Russell Wilson, he's gonna have to be special with his legs. On when do they play? Sunday?
Yeah.
He's gonna have to be special with his legs on Sunday. They don't have a running back to speak of.
No.
And I just, as much as I like Russ, all signs point to Green Bay going to the NFC Championship.
I'll make my prediction later.
Hey, well, so look, so y'all want to do the picks now? I'll talk about the NFL 100, man.
We can do it. I mean,
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
All right, well, look, because I know y'all got a lot to say about the NFL 100. So
right.
let's run through these picks, man. I'm picking the 49ers, Ravens, Chiefs, and the Seahawks. So who you got, K, man?
I got if it wasn't for Bill O'Brien, I would have the Houston Texans winning that game because it's Andy Reid in the playoffs. But I got the Chiefs. I got the Ravens. I got the Vikings. No. I got the Vikings. I have the Vikings winning that game. It's it's going to be mentor versus mentee, and Kyle Shanahan versus his mentor and Gary Kubiak. So that little chess matchup and how they're going to attack. I have Seattle winning.
Who you
Matt
got?
LaFleur.
Titans and the Ravens, man.
I said the Ravens.
Okay.
As far as I have Seattle winning that game. Matt LaFleur stinks. All you need to do with Green Bay, his first 15 plays, if you can hold them to 3 points, their offense is going to stagnate. All you need to do is put up at least 17 points like you did again, and you can go into Green Bay and win that game.
Dang. All right. So, who you got, B?
I have the Vikings also.
Dang.
As just like Sunday, they're going to create matchup problems for San Fran all across the board.
Yeah, Daniil Hunter coming off the end.
Yeah, and I mean it's with the Lions, that's strength versus strength. But I think I give the edge to Minnesota's defensive line as opposed to San Fran's offensive line.
Yeah.
That and the matchups that the Vikings are going to be able to create in the secondary with Diggs, Rudolph, Adam Thielen. I don't think that bodes well. If they can give Kirk that half a second more in the pocket, I think the Vikings take it. I like the Vikings.
And if they can just keep Dalvin Cook, getting him lanes. He doesn't need the big burst lanes. He just needs good 4 yards, 5 yard lanes. The only thing I worry about with that game is George Kittle.
Yeah.
The Vikings they need to step up. Their secondary needs to step up.
Yeah, Xavier Rhodes is getting exposed in the Saints game.
And I wouldn't necessarily say, about the running lanes for Dalvin Cook. They just need to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Like, get him involved in the passing game, get him involved in the screen game. Just get the ball in his hands. And then I think that'll open up the running game. I think they're going to have to use the short passing game to open up the running game. Because, I mean, the San Francisco 49ers front seven, they kind of stout.
And also go to two back sets to confuse them. So they don't know if they're giving it to Dalvin Cook or they don't know if they're giving it to the other back. You have to make them think instead of being reactionary.
Right.
Hey, B, who else you got?
I'm gonna save the next Saturday game for last. I have the Chiefs over the Texans, and of course y'all know I have the Packers over the Seahawks. I just like Kennedy said, if it wasn't for Bill O'Brien, I would probably pick the Texans. The Chiefs, that defense, and it may let them down. They may let them down Sunday. I don't have faith in that defense. And then with Deshaun Watson being on one, for this playoffs, that one could go either way. But I'm gonna pick the Chiefs because they have a more talented team. I'm taking the Titans over the Ravens. I am. I don't think the Ravens are ready just yet to take that step. And if it was any other team going into Baltimore, I would almost pick the Ravens by default. But there is something about this Titans team. They come off as old school. The game's going to be cold, or at least I think it is.
No,
crazy.
It's not.
Well,
It's going to be 70 and raining. But some light rain.
Middle January. But yeah, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game, I think. The Titans have a quarterback that I think can at least keep them in the game. And for some reason, I'm I just keep leaning Titans. I keep leaning Titans. Maybe I'm wrong. I love Lamar Jackson. You know, big ups on the MVP he got coming up. He deserved it. But I don't know. I just don't think they're ready to take that step yet.
Okay. Good point. Good point. All right, so we got like maybe 10 minutes, man. This last little thing y'all brought up, the NFL 100. Okay, man.
You got also Brandon brought up Tua, right?
Yeah. But I mean, we can.
Yeah.
I just with the Tua thing, I think that if the Miami Dolphins want him, I think that they need to move up. Let me pull up the order right quick. Y'all know the order by heart?
Yeah, I do.
Who's
I know we got 24 pick, but go ahead.
It's one is Cincinnati, 2 is the Redskins, 3 is Detroit, 4 is God, I forget who 4 is, but 3 is the
Giants.
Yeah, number 3 is the spot.
Yeah. That's who I'm most afraid of. If I'm Brian Flores, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm scared to death of Detroit. So if I'm Miami, if Tua's your guy, and this is and teams do this every year, they find a quarterback that they think is worth whatever, they give up whatever to get him. They need to move up. They need to call Dan Snyder. They need to call Washington and be like, what is it going to take for us to get in front of Detroit so we can get Tua?
No. I think Detroit is a spot where people Detroit's going to keep Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
If Miami needs to go up to number 3, because LA's coming, and if not LA, Tampa might be coming.
Right. But I'm not sold on them keeping Stafford and not taking advantage of grabbing Tua, who they can stash for a season or two.
But here's the problem
behind Stafford.
Here's the problem with that. The GM and the head coach just got a reprieve for one more season, mainly off the basis of, Stafford was hurt. They can't really go into a season saying, we picked Tua, now give us more time. No, they're going to get fired, and the new coach is going to get Tua. So I think they're going to trade to try to get more assets.
My thing about that, man, I was thinking about that earlier. I think a team like Detroit that has Stafford would benefit better getting Tua and letting him sit and get healthy for like a season, because you got to look at all the injuries he's had. Yeah. Since he's been playing, like both his ankles, a knee, he had a couple of other injuries, now a hip.
Yeah.
And
right.
I think it was good for him to come out, because you don't want to go back to college another year and get hurt again, mess up your money, mess up your draft status. Come out now.
Also, NFL treatment is way better than college treatment.
Yeah.
Right.
Come out now, sit behind the quarterback for a year, get healthy.
As long as you don't go to the Redskins.
It's either rehab and don't get paid, or rehab and get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that hard,
much.
Really.
Yeah, it really isn't. I don't know what that Moses kid is doing in Alabama. Like,
when he said there was like flip flopping. He said he wasn't. His dad said he is. I'm like, what the? But like I said, when I heard that Tua made that decision, I said that's the best thing. Let him come out, let him sit a year, get healthy, learn the system, then look at going forward, see what he can do. But, yeah, man, I wish him the best.
Yeah, I mean, I think Miami's going to have to move up if they want it. It's going
to have to.
That's my thing. Because I think just like you say, you think Detroit's going to trade back, try to get assets. I think the Giants are going to trade back and try to get assets.
The Giants?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They got Daniel Jones.
But they look at the defense.
Look at the offensive line.
Yeah.
Look at the skill position.
They need picks.
This is the deepest wide receiver class in like a decade.
Yeah. They need picks. They need picks.
Yeah, you're right about that. Dang. All right. This NFL 100 debate has been going on with everybody, all the analysts, man. Some people like the list, some people don't. So we got about 8 minutes, 7, 8 minutes. Start with you, K, man. I'm gonna give you 3. On what's your take on this list? What bothers you? What doesn't?
I saw it on Twitter, and they said this list is crap because it's a baby boomers list. And if you look at this list, it is a baby boomers list. I'm on the website right now, just looking at the linebackers. Just looking at the linebackers.
Linebackers? Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know Chuck Benderek,
Big Nard.
Bignard, or Bobby Bell. I don't know who they are, or Joe Schmidt. You trying to tell me one of these dudes is better than Derek Thomas? You trying to tell me one of these dudes is better than Mike Singletary?
LT?
No, LT's on the list. So I'm just like, some of this thing is like, it doesn't. Tight ends. Let's go to the tight ends, because that one was like, are you kidding me? Let me pull it up.
Yeah, I'm looking right here. Mike Ditka, Tony Gonzalez, Gronkowski, John Mackey, and Kellen Winslow.
All right.
I don't have a problem with that.
You don't think Shannon Sharp should be on this list, and Mike Ditka shouldn't? You don't think Lenny Moore should be on this list?
I get what you're saying. Or somebody like Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah, Antonio Gates.
Right.
That's why I was skeptical about this whole thing. I'm not sure what they based this. What was their criteria?
Look at the wide receiver list.
What was the baseline?
That's the thing. I don't know. Like with the tight ends, that was my thing. Like Kellen Winslow is not even the best Chargers tight end.
The wide receivers list. Who? Paul Warfield? No T.O.?
But look, man, look. First of all, speaking of wide receivers, look at Elroy Hirsch's pose.
It's like really? The quarterback list. There could be some legit debate on that. I think to me the quarterback list is fine. I actually think the quarterback list is fine.
Well,
because if you know the history, this is, and the evolution of that position, this is the best group of all time.
Man, you just hit on what I was about to go into. If you look at each of these players, look at the outfits and the helmets, and you can see how far the game has came.
Right.
I'm thinking they went back to each era and picked like the best quarterback from that era. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Because you got Sammy Ball, who's the first one who did the forward pass. You got Otto Graham, who was like 10 straight years in the championship game. You got Johnny United, who is the grandfather, the father of the modern passing. And then you got
Roger Staubach,
the man who invented the 2-minute drill. You know, so it's from that point on, the quarterback, but the wide receivers, I'm like, really? But it was the tight ends and the linebackers. It was like, what?
Where's Tim Brown?
Exactly.
On this list. Like, white powder thunder. Where is he?
But no. Go. Hey, look at the cornerbacks list.
Oh yeah, that one.
Ooh, yeah.
For those of you listening that don't know what white powder thunder is, hit me up. Hit my DMs. I'll let you know.
The cornerback list.
Look at it.
No Champ Bailey.
None.
No Darrell Revis.
Ty Law.
But they got Deion Sanders and Darrell Green. They got Night Train on this joint.
Well, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Deion Sanders and Darrell Green.
I don't have a problem with Night Train.
You got a problem with Rod Woodson, man.
I don't really have a problem with Rod Wilson. It's like Willie Brown and Mike Hayes that I got a problem with.
I guess I'm old because I remember Willie Brown and Mike Hayes.
Like, everybody knew Mel Blount was the man. Everybody, so there's no even question about that. Rod Wilson, but like Willie Brown, because he had that shot in the Super Bowl. Really? I'm like, what are we doing out here?
Hold on, let me see. Now, check this one out. I got to get out of here at 9, but check it out. Look at the defensive ends. I only see 2. Well, one name I know should be on that joint. Deacon Jones.
Deacon Jones is on there.
Yeah, I know. That's the only one I agree with, kind of. Bruce Smith, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Smith and Reggie.
I don't have a problem with Reggie.
I don't have a problem with Bruce Smith.
How'd it go to Rajesh?
But I'm just they got some dude from the 30s. I mean, he from his picture, he built like a running back. I'm just like, really?
And where is Warren Sapp in the defensive tackles?
Oh man.
Where's JJ Watt in the defensive ends?
He's not old enough yet.
Still.
You know what? Well, yeah, I get what you're saying, man. Yeah,
I'm just saying some of these things. I just don't get it though. It's I just don't get it. Some of it I just don't get. I really don't get.
Yeah, man, I get you, man.
It's the same thing with the Hall of Fame. It's just like, I understand that they were great at their time, but if you transport these individuals to today and some of the guys from today back, would they survive? Like, that's why the quarterback list I don't have a problem with, because you put Dan Marino in today's game, oh my God, he's killing every record that it is.
Well, look, number one, if you bring back the old guys on defense, there'll be a whole lot of fines and penalties.
Oh, yeah. Right. Deacon Jones will be a broke man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So it's.
I got the tap.
All right, I'll end with this. For the returners, I need for Dante Hall to be on that list. I'm sorry, I need Dante Hall to be in there.
Yeah, that I agree with.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That I agree with. Devin Hester, Billy White, she was from the old days with that little dance. He's one of the first people to start the dance.
That's the reason. I think that's the reason why they put him in. Oh, he did the dance. All right, so.
All right, man. I got the tap.
Yeah.
All right, man. Go ahead before you be on the couch tonight.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good night, America. Happy New Year.
Good night, America.
Good night, everybody. Sleep tight. Get the telescopes out. Big pretty moon outside. I'm getting ready to go look at it. Holla.
Peace.